I'm down in the fruit case today, and we're going to sort out with a few new plants in here. So let's get potting. These are our blackberry plants on this side and this side, and the crop off them this year was not too bad at all, but they're a bit thorny, and I mean the crop could be better, and as I say, I'm not particularly happy with the amount of full thorns. So over the next couple of years we're going to slowly replace these. So I managed to pick up two different varieties of blackberries. These ones are Rubus Black Satin, and these ones are Morton Thornless. They're both in the garden centre, and they were like small chickens. They were going cheap. So what we're going to do is today we're going to get these potted on. We're going to put these ones in here and there. And then we're going to put the other ones. These are actually, there's about 3 different canes in here, so we're going to see if we split those up and put those in the other side. So simply going to get in here, dig a bit of a hole. Oh, hello worm. Push that down in there. Give it a bit of a firm in, and that'll be happy growing there. And we'll put this other one get a few roots there. Well, squidge that one. Might to be a bit deeper. Just free that soil up to the bottom. There we go. And we'll just put that and firm that one in there. And then hopefully those two will carry on growing for future years. So let's have a look at these ones, see what we've got inside. So let's tip them out and see what we've got. We're going to break this up a bit because there's like multiple, they put multiple canes in here. Let's get the ties off. So I'm just going to lay that down. Just going to put a fork down in there and just ease that apart. So they're quite root bound at the moment in this pot. Just going to get my fingers in there and just try and ease that all apart. If not, we might just put them in as a clump. There we go. Right. Let's just go down through the middle there. So these are quite root bound in here, and they're quite entangled. So I think what we'll do, I don't want to damage them too much by actually pulling them apart. We'll see if we can like ease this off a bit. Right, I think what we'll do on these ones, rather than yanking them all apart and damaging them roots too much, we'll plant them as a clump, and then what we'll do is we'll train them. We'll get a big fork. I was hoping we might be able to split them up, but they're not coming easily. They're not coming easily, and therefore we'll plant them as a clump. We'll plant them down as a clump together. And then what we'll do is we'll train them off. I mean, they're all going to come up here and across the wall ours anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just get those in there. Just firm those in. I think there's a little space just here for us to put the other ones in. Plenty of worms in here, so the soil's a bit wet and claggy today. So let's get these ones out. Yeah, you can see, look. You see the roots on these are just like, it's become completely root bound. So we're just gonna break off. I'm just going to break that apart a little bit. It's not going to damage the roots, really. It just means that actually that those roots will now seek out nutrients in the other soil. The problem when they become root bound is they sort of have a tendency to actually stay. There we go, that's what we're sort of looking for. Just tease them all out a bit. They have a tendency, if you plant to become pot bound, that it will actually just carry on growing its roots in the confines of where it was actually in the pot. And it won't be reluctant to actually spread its roots elsewhere, because all the roots will be have come to the edge of the pot, they've turned around and be heading back the other way. Whereas what we want to do is we want to encourage those roots to actually grow out into the soil around them. So we're just going to firm that in. And then we'll just take these ties off them. And take that stick out, we don't need that anymore. And that's our blackberries. New blackberries planted up. So they'll hopefully grow on. We can take some cuttings off them if necessary later on to spread them along. Right, now, for those that have been observant amongst yourselves, you'll have noticed when we've been in the large polytunnel, there's been a small tree lurking in the background, not doing a lot. And that is the tree that is over here. So this is our cherry tree. It's a sunburst 2-year-old cherry tree on a colt rootstock. Now, colt rootstocks, tree will grow out to about 3 or 4 meters on a colt rootstock. Now we got this one. It was a bargain. It was reduced in price. Now we don't want it to be 3 or 4 meters tall, because the fruit cage is only up here. It's only about 2 and a bit meters tall. But what we're going to do with this one is we just potted it in with a bit of manure, and we tighten these wires up. And what we're going to do is we're going to train this. So it has been pruned as a tree. What we're going to do is we're going to train this into a fan. So we're going to put some wires in, and then we're going to strap these branches across the wire. So I have a central leader. This is a central leader coming up, And then hopefully we've got 5 branches here. There's one here that's surplus to requirements. We won't be trimming this, incidentally. We won't be pruning this at all. It has been pruned before in the autumn, obviously. Cherry trees are very susceptible to silver leaf disease or canker. So unlike all of the other fruits, like your blackberries and your raspberries and your apple trees and all the other bits and pieces and grapevines and all those sort of things, cherry trees, you shouldn't prune them until after they've flowered and fruited. So we won't be doing any pruning on this until sort of July, August time. So we're just going to try and train this up. Now the way we're going to do this is a combination of wires and clips. So we've got some of the wire that we use for this, and then we've got some of these little wire clips. I'll show you these. So these are just little clips where you take this plate out, you pass one wire one side of the screw, one wire the other side of the screw, and they just clip on there and allow us to run some lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to clip some of these metal lines in line with where we want to go. So this one, we're going to come from the base there, and we're going to take it all the way up to about there. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to put that wire underneath, this wire the other side, I'll put the little plate on, get this bolt on, and then they supply with this little tiny spanner thing that'll let you tighten that up. And then that wire is fixed to that wire. I'm just going to run this up to there. Give ourselves a little bit of spare. And there we have our support wire in place. So now all we need to do is get some tie. I'm just going to cut off a little bit of tie. Going to wrap that round there a few times, wrap it round itself a few times, get the branch that we want to train, and tie that in. And again, up at this point, we'll wrap that round there, wrap this round itself, and then get that branch. We need to do it the other side because it's not quite long enough. So we get that round there, tie that round itself, and then tie that in. And that's our first branch trained into the wire. So I'm going to put the other wires in. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll see what it looks like afterwards. So I've finished putting in all the training wires. So we've got one branch going up here, which will end up there, one going up this way, central one that will go up there, one going up here, one going up here. We've got this little wispy bit, but we won't cut that off until the autumn. And as it continues to grow, we'll just train it up these wires, and then we'll have a nice fan cherry tree hopefully, and in future years we'll get some nice cherry tree crop off of it. So that's how we're going to train it. As I say, it's on a colt root stocks, which means it would grow up to 3 to 4 meters, but we'll train it and that'll be adequate for it to actually grow 5 spans over a sort of 2 to 2.5 meter length along the trellis. So we'll look forward to cherries, maybe not this year, a couple of years time. So that's the additions to the fruit cage. We've put in some new blackberries, we've put in the cherry tree. In order to do this, we had to move the other blackberries that we had, bush blackberries we had here along, so we've done that, and hopefully we'll have a nice lot of fruit in the whole fruit cage this year, and in future years we'll be able to get our cherries. So until next time, see you later.